Hello guys, this is Damian from forexbot.com and welcome back to our video examples on a live forex trading account. We remind that the trade you will see here is with and only educational purpose. So now I'm looking at the 15-minute chart of the Australian dollar American dollar forex pair. As you see, I have two indicators attached to the chart. The first one is the alligator indicator that consists of three lines which are based on moving averages. The first line is the blue line, which is called the alligator's jaw, and it is a 13 period smoothed moving average that is displaced by 8 bars to the right, to the future. The second line, the red line, is the alligator's teeth, and it is an 8 period smoothed moving average that is displaced by 5 periods into the future. And the third line is called the alligator's lips, which is a 5 period smoothed moving average displaced by 3 periods to the future, into the future. At the bottom of the chart, I have the volume indicator. And currently, I see that the price action of the pair is forming a bearish trend. Like this. And I'm going to mark this trend with a trend line with some other brighter color, maybe this magenta, something like a pink, purplish. And as you see, the price is currently testing the trend line for third time. At the same time, I see that the three alligator lines have gained big distance between each other, meaning that there is a trend. When the lines are distance, this means that we say that the alligator is eating. The mouth of the alligator is wide open, meaning that there is a trend. When the two lines are close to each other, like over here, and like over here, and they constantly cross and interrupt each other, we say that the alligator is sleeping, meaning that the pair is rather ranging than trending. And now, since the alligator's mouth is wide open, and we pretty much have relatively high trading volume, I plan to short the Australian dollar American dollar forex pair in case the price bounces off the trend line and closes another bearish candle. And now I'm marking the increasing volume on the volume indicator. Yeah, like this. Notice that the volume has been decreasing during the last 4 periods, like here, 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 and here, meaning that the current consolidation or a correction is like losing power currently, which is the reason why I believe that the price is very likely to bounce off the purple bearish trend line, and this might even result on a increasing volume bar on the volume indicator, which will be another signal for my short trade. Okay, and since I'm not getting a signal, like a clear signal that the price is likely to decrease, I plan on pausing the video and I'll come back to you, for example, in 15 minutes or in half an hour, in order to approach this trading opportunity again. Okay guys, I'm back half an hour later to tell you that I'm going to short the Australian dollar American dollar forex pair for half lot on the assumption that the price will continue its decrease. Notice that we saw a little bounce over here and the price is about to create a new bottom. At the same time, I saw a pickup in the trading volume right over here, which is the reason why I believe that the trend will keep going as stated by the alligator indicator. See that the mount is still wide open, and I assume that I'm going to see another bearish impulse on the chart. At the same time, I plan to stay in my trade either until the price breaks the green band in bullish direction or until the green band breaks the red band in bullish direction. I cannot say which of the two signals I'm going to use. I'm going to decide this at the moment. So what I'm going to do is to place a stop loss order so the trade will be protected in case of a sharp price move. However, I'm not going to use the stop loss order to close the trade. I'm going to use signals that come from the Alligator indicator. So now let's mark the levels I put on the chart, the stop loss order, which is here to protect me from big volatile price moves, and it is not meant to be hit. Here it is. And my entry point is going to go in white. Here it is. Alright, the levels are good to go. Now I'm going to pause the video again and I'll come back to you later with the results from this trade. Okay guys, I'm back about 16 hours later to tell you that this trade is still active, and as you see, the Alligator indicator has been still wide open. Right over here I saw some interruptions over here in the green line, the Alligator's lips. However, these were very short in terms of time, like over here, when I nearly closed my trade, but I then saw a very sharp pullback in bearish direction, which made me think that the price is very likely to continue the downtrend, and this is exactly what it happened. But still, we don't have an interruption of the green line through the red line, which is the reason I decided to stay with this signal. I still not seeing this signal, and I'm I'm gonna tell you now, it is like 68 pips profit from this trade, and since it is currently like 5 a.m. and I need to go to bed at some point, I will simply move my stop loss order above the last significant top on the chart in order to lock in guaranteed profit, like I just did. And now my trade is 100% profitable on like 51 pips profit, 100% sure, risk free, I'm profitable. And now I plan on leaving this trade open with my adjusted stop loss order, which is currently very tight. So in case the price decides to create like a bullish move, I will be protected with my stop loss order. But I still believe that I have more to get from this trade because the bullish trend, as you see, is relatively strong, so it can still keep going. And this is the reason why I intend to leave this trade open with an adjusted stop loss order. And now I'm going to move the line that indicates my stop loss order, so I will have it like visualized on the chart in case the price hits the stop loss order, and I will leave the trade unattended because as I said, it's 5 a.m. and I cannot observe this trade forever. But since I believe that it still has what to do in bearish direction, I will keep it open. And now I plan to pause the video again, and I will get back to you tomorrow when I have the total results from this trade. Okay guys, I'm back about 7 more hours later to show you that the price kept trending in my favor and I'm still with the trade open. By the way, notice that during the night when I was off, after I adjusted the stop loss order, when I was out of my PC, there was an interruption between the green and the red line, but when I got back to the PC, I realized that the Australian dollar, American dollar kept trending in bearish direction, and now I see another interruption, which is currently happening over here, of the yellow line through the red line, and this is like for a second time. And before the first interruption over here, we have like the two lines getting very close to each other, meaning that the corrections of the bearish trend are getting longer and longer, like over here and here and over here. And since I saw the breakout through the from the yellow, the breakout of the green line through the red line, I assume it is better to undertake something. Not sure if I should exit the trade. Maybe I will leave it open because maybe this correction will be finished again. But what I'm going to do now is to adjust my stop loss order one more time in order to lock in even more of the guaranteed profit. Here it is. Stop loss order was adjusted. At the same time, I take into consideration the last two bottoms on the chart, here and here. And now I'm starting to use some price action rules. The stop loss order is above this trend line, and if it gets broken, the trade will be closed from the triggering of my stop loss order. The other thing which I take into consideration when leaving this trade open is the volume indicator. Notice that the volume is growing when the price is trending in bearish direction. Over here, let's change some colors. Orange is fine. Here it is. See, the Aussie starts trending in bearish direction, volume grow. Then again, we have a correction over here. Volume falls at the end of the correction. Here it is. Then we have an increasing volume over here again during the trend, meaning that when the volume is growing, pair is trending in bearish direction, meaning that most of the players on the market are pretty much with bearish attitudes, and there is a big chance that the pair continues in bearish direction. At the same time, the current correction which happens on the chart over here happens during decreasing volume, slightly decreasing volume, which makes me think that there might be another impulse on the chart on increasing volume. So now I'm going to pause the video again. I forgot for which time I'm pausing the video now. It's like more than 24 hours already. I'm in this trade, and I will get back to you later with more results from this trade. Okay guys, I'm back about 3 hours later to tell you that I'm still in the trade, and as I planned, the price bounced off the pink bearish line I drew through the last two tops on the chart. It created another top, so we can consider this as a relatively, not relatively, but some kind of a reliable, slightly reliable support on the chart. And now I plan to adjust my stop loss order even higher because in like 15 minutes there are going to be some economic releases coming from the United States, like the initial jobless claims, the non-farm productivity, the United States trade balance, as well as the unit labor cost. So I expect very high volatility, not very high, but like relatively high volatility, because all these four events I just named are not of that big importance. Like for example, the GDP report, or the non-farm payrolls, or the the employment change, etc., etc. But anyway, there will be volatility, so I'm going to I plan on adjusting the stop loss order higher, like somewhere in the middle between the current price action uh, and its last level of the stop loss order. So I'm going to leave it over here. Notice that the price went below the 0.74 support, which is a psychological level on the chart. I'm going to mark it with let's say orange. No, I have orange already. I'm going to mark it with blue. Let's do blue, but something lighter, so we'll be able to see it. Here it is. That's the level. The price broke it, and I adjusted my stop loss order above this level. At the same time, you notice that I don't see my entry point anymore. Here it is. This is where I entered. Whoop, right over here. Okay, in this relation, if the events are in my favor, I will extend my gains probably like rapidly. But on the other hand, if the gains are against me, I will like my trade will probably get closed by the stop loss order. So I think everything is fine. Let me zoom in. Should I like do it higher or still not sure? Let's switch to a smaller chart to see where we have some like a high, more interesting high. I think I will adjust my stop loss order slightly higher, right over here, so I'll be able to contain this stop over here at 0.7404. So I think it will be okay. Notice that if I close my trade over here, the distance between the stop loss order and the current price action is about 0.739. It is about like almost 14 pips, which is like a pretty, I can close it and I can, skip risking these 14 pips, but putting my stop loss order higher keeps it still in the market, and I can, I can catch a bigger move in case the releases from the United States are good and they provoke some kind of a bullish run of the American dollar, which means that the Aussie will go downward. So this is the plan. They're like 8 minutes more until the release. So I will get back to you in like 10 minutes to show you how 10 or 15 minutes to show you what happened with the trade, if I'm still in the trade or if the trade is already closed. Okay guys, I'm back about 30 minutes later to show you that the price of the Australian dollar, American dollar Forex pair did not do that much of a move. And the move was totally contained by my stop loss order, which still stays at 0.7404. See that the price created a swing in bullish direction, but then it sharply decreased back. This is how it looks on the 15-minute chart. Nothing very unusual. Notice that the price stopped exactly at the 0.74 support, which is already a resistance, psychological resistance, and then it bounced back in bearish direction. So the bearish move can be resumed. Nevertheless, by the way, I need to mention that most of the economic events from the United States were like better than expected, like the initial jobless claims, the trade balance, as well as the unit labor costs. But for example, the non-farm productivity in the US was announced at a worse than expected rate. And there was pretty much a balance in the forces. But the interesting thing is that notice that the volume grow, of course, when there is economic announcement, volume grows, volatility grows as well. And forex pairs get crazy. This is why you should tackle such situations with adjusting your stop loss order tie or with totally exiting your trade, because you don't want to like lose all you've already gained in a flash for no reason. Notice the bearish trend that I got into. It started over here and it lasts to over here. I managed to hop in here at 0.7483, and the price is now at 0.7394. So this is almost 100 pips. Yeah, this is something like around 90 pips approximately. Pretty good result. Very good result. The dilemma here is if I should adjust my stop loss order higher. By the way, I plan to do so because notice that, Yes. Notice that the price action has been bouncing over here in this like channel or something like an expanding triangle maybe. And there are some signs that the bearish run is hesitating. See that the trend was relatively sharp, but suddenly it slowed down over here. And maybe the price is likely to do bigger correction. But what I can do now is either to leave the stop loss as it is, hoping that the price will not return, but I believe it's very likely that the price return. So what I can do is to adjust the stop loss order higher, so it will contain the upper purple line you see on the chart, the one that connects the tops, like I did the last time. So I'm going to do this, and by the way, this will not cost me like much because uh, since the price is moving downward, uh, the upper level of the pink channel you're looking at is moving downward as well. So I need to move the stop loss order with not that much in order to contain it. So I did it. Now I'm going to return the red horizontal line on its place. By the way, this video recording will appear to be like maybe more than 20 minutes. It's going to be a long one because the trade I took was on the 15-minute chart with the alligator indicator, and that signal put me in like a bigger trade where I managed to catch a big bearish trend, and I am already like maybe 30 hours in the market. I usually don't do when I shoot the live trading examples because honestly it takes a lot of time to shoot the video. Take a look at this. I'm shooting it for a second day and it is still not ready, and maybe this trade will continue even like longer, you never know. But here it is, the trend is already here. But we should not skip the fact that this is like an expanding triangle which has bearish inclination, and very often these patterns lead to price increases. So in case this pattern gets broken in bullish direction, I believe that my stop loss order is located on a very good place, and the price will simply hit the stop loss order and close my trade on profit. Currently, my stop loss order guarantees a profit of 68 pips, which is a relatively good amount. It's wonderful, by the way. And I'm going to do the calculation, the percentage calculation profit when I'm done with the trade, because every time, I adjust my stop loss order, and this constantly changes the result from the trade. But we'll do the calculation and we will summarize what we did from this trade. But now let's pause the video again, and I'll come back to you later when I have even more results from this interesting and exciting short trade at the Australian dollar American dollar forex pair. Okay guys, I'm back 30 more minutes later to tell you that this time I plan on closing the trades because I see few signals that imply the eventual reversal on the chart. And now I'm closing the trade because I assume that the price might jump in bullish direction, so I'm closing it right now. Voila, done. And I'm gonna mark the level at which I close the trade over here. And now I will tell you why I did this. My target should be marked with green, not target, but the accomplished thing. So first of all, when we zoom out the chart and we look at the trend I traded, we see that slowdown over here that resembles an expanding triangle. That's fine. When we zoom in more, we see the upper and the lower level of this expanding triangle over here. See that the price is currently bouncing in bullish direction. So in this relation, I assume that there will be at least a run to the upper level of this pattern that resembles an expanding triangle or a channel. Not sure exactly. Furthermore, notice that the current candle that closed, the last one, happened during very big trading volumes, which make me believe that the return to the upper level is very likely to occur. At the same time, I see a candle pattern over here. Here it is. A candle pattern that is called 3 inside up, where we have a bearish candle, then a smaller bullish candle that takes nearly half of the previous candle, and another bullish candle that breaks the top of the first bearish candle. And this is a bullish candle that suggests that the price will run. And the biggest signal which I took into consideration to close my trade could be seen on a bigger chart. Of course, this is the daily chart. When we stretch the Fibonacci levels on the previous trend, we see that the current price bounce happens at the 61.8 Fibonacci level over here, which is the reason I don't want to risk any more from this trade. And I keep seeing more and more signals that persuade me to close the trade. For example, I see another channel over here. There it is. And notice that the price is currently bouncing off the lower level of this channel as well. So signal after signal, a lot of bullish signals in my record currently that the price will probably return. But we should not forget that I pretty much did a lot in this trade, and it is like a very profitable trade, because I entered somewhere at the beginning of the trend, like at 0.7483, and I closed the trade at 0.7395, I believe. Let me zoom in. Yeah, here it is, 0.7395, and this is a very good result. Now I'm going to do the calculation in order to see the percentage profit from this trade. All right, cool. So now let me take the cursor. So it's like an 88 pips trade. 88 pips profit, which equals to 0.0088 from the current exchange rate of the Australian dollar, American dollar Forex pair. And when I divide this amount by the entry price, which is 0.7483, I get a result of 0.011759989. And when I multiply this by 100, I get a result of 1.18%, approximately 1.18%, approximately pure profit from this trade that took nearly maybe about 32, 33 or 34 hours. I'm not exactly sure, but I should admit that this was a very good trade, and this is the longest trade I managed to get on a video record for you guys, because I usually, as you know, I try to keep stuff like simple in order to be able to demonstrate how a certain indicator or a chart pattern works. And in this case, I was forced to stay longer in the trade, because it appeared that I hopped into an emerging trend that I still cannot say it's interrupted. But if this trend is still going, I will simply hop in the trade one more time. I simply exited because I saw too many bullish signals, and I assumed that a pullback is on its way. And this is why I closed the trade, and I prefer to collect my 1.18% without getting my stop loss order hit, because if I had my stop loss order hit, I would have reduced my profit with nearly 20 pips, and I really didn't want to do this. So this was the reason why I closed the trade. So thank you very much again, guys, for your patience. This was Damian from forexboat.com. Looking forward to see you on the next live Forex trading session. And until then, I wish you happy Forex trading.